Hey, what is going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku, back with another video to talk about this, it's being called Helmet Gate, but I call it Annoying Gate. So what can you say? Never is a dull moment when it comes to NFL drama these days. But so I want to give my 2 cents on this whole Antonio Brown helmet situation that's going on. First of all, I want to just say I think Antonio Brown's being a big baby. I think he's being absolutely dumb when it comes to the whole helmet issue. Be serious right now. It's a freaking helmet. Okay, there's got to be a helmet. They make multiple helmets. They make hundreds of helmets, different shapes, different models, different companies, a year. Okay, there's got to be a helmet that Antonio Brown can wear that he's comfortable with, that's in the safety zone. There's got to be one. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's just, it's just so tedious. It's such a tedious thing. I mean, he can afford the best quality one out there. He's getting paid $30 million. All right, he got a new contract. He got traded to the team he wanted to because he didn't want to go to Buffalo. All right, he got that trade nullified. Okay, he got traded from the Steelers to the Raiders, the team he wanted to play for. Got that. Raiders immediately gave him a new contract, $30 million. Guaranteed money as well on top of it. Okay, multiple $1 million guaranteed. Okay, got everything he wants. Okay, got everything he wants. And now he's complaining and bitching about a freaking helmet. Okay, because the helmet he's been wearing for 10 years or 9 years, whatever it's been now, because this is his 10th year, I think, in the league. The helmet that he wore his whole career is now banned. Okay, like the model's banned, like everything's banned about the helmet. Okay, it's banned. Okay, his Sculptic Air, I think it was an Air Sculptic or something, Air Pro. I don't know exactly what the company thing is. It's let me see. Let me make sure. It was an Air. I don't know. I didn't think I would know it by now, since everyone's talking about it. What are we calling the Air Sculptic? Okay, so it's a Sculptic Air Advanced Adult Large Helmet. That's what it is. Okay. So that's the helmet he wants. Okay, that's the helmet he wants to wear. But it's banned because there's another rule because of the safety issue. There's the NFL is cracking down on trying to reduce concussions. So they're using these new safety helmets. These, they're not really safety helmets, but they're much more safer than a lot of the helmets that were being used last year or 2 years ago. So they have to be tested within the safety zone. Last year in 2019, the league issued a statement basically saying that, this is the last year you can use any of these helmets that are not in the safety zone level or whatever anymore. Like, you're getting a grace year, and this will give you time to still use your current helmet, but recommended to transition into another helmet for future seasons or whatnot. Because by 2020 or not 20 by 2018 by 2019, which is this season, I think I said 2018 season last year was the 1 year transitional season essentially. 2019 this season, they are no longer allowed to use those non-safety helmets anymore that are not in the safety zone. So they have to wear these cleaner helmets, these safer helmets that are passed into the safety zone. Okay, so that's really the issue we're at here. But there's another rule that says that after 10 years, no matter safety rule or no safety rule, this has been a rule for decades when it comes to helmets, is you have to change your helmet after your 10th season. So if you're going into your 11th season, you have to change your helmet to something else, no matter what. Okay, because of technology and whatnot. That has been always a rule. Okay, the safety zone rule is newer, but it's now in effect. So Antonio Brown is being tedious. He got his money, and he wants to, because his helmet is not into the safety standards, and it's 10 years old, so he can't use it. He can't use it anymore. He painted it Raiders colors because it was a Steeler, because it was originally a Steeler colored helmet. So he can't use it. He filed a grievance. Like I said, tedious. Files a grievance, loses that grievance because of these rules. However, when he lost this grievance, when Brown lost his grievance, he found out something about this, 10-year rule thing. Now, this rule says you can't use a helmet past 10 years. So what he decides to do is he goes on to his own Twitter account and basically says to everybody, I'm looking for this helmet. Which is basically his helmet model that he's looking for, an Air Scuffik Large. An Air Advance Scuffik Large helmet. And he actually offered a practice-signed jersey helmet on his Twitter account. I'm not making this up. He really did this. And people were actually trolling him. I don't know how many people actually really sent him private messages on Twitter, about offering up their helmet, but there were some funny remarks. I personally think he's lowballing people for this helmet. But he did get a helmet from somebody. I don't know who, because he never acknowledged who it was that he got the helmet from. But he got a helmet exactly like the one he had, same model, same everything. Assuming they got it painted the right colors for the Raiders stuff and whatnot. So they got all that going, right? He plays a preseason game with this helmet, this new helmet, because I'm assuming it was his helmet because he's being a rebel this entire training camp. I'm assuming this is the situation that when he played against the Cardinals in the preseason game, it was that helmet. So he's playing with this helmet as a 2011 model helmet. Everything seems to be good because it's within the rule that the NFL has had out for decades. Now, a couple of days, or about yesterday, the NFL is saying, no, you can't use that helmet either because it's a banned helmet. It's a banned helmet, and they personally banned his actual helmet, specifically. And now they're saying that he can't wear it at all anymore. And so now Brown is filing another grievance, saying that he should get a 1-year window, grace period, to transition into a new helmet because they didn't let him know, and they didn't test the helmet until after he filed, his first grievance, or after he received this new helmet. That's when they decided to test his model helmet. So, here's my thing. Again, like I said in the beginning of this video, I don't agree with Antonio Brown's actions at all. I think this is very tedious, and I think this is very, very toxicating to his team. I'm not even a Raiders fan, as you all know. I'm a huge Green Bay Packers fan. I don't even like the Oakland Raiders. So, but this is very distracting to the team, obviously, and of course they're on Hard Knocks. So it's they're on cable and shit like that, and everyone's seeing what they're doing this offseason. So that alone is already going to cause drama. But my whole thing with this is that this is another thing about the NFL, bullying their rules, okay? The NFL, like I said, I don't agree with Antonio Brown here, but I do agree with his stance about the rule. Because here's the thing. If the NFL did not put that rule into place, like if Antonio Brown had not said anything, this rule would have still been in place. This is the NFL's fault for not putting this rule into place. Because Antonio Brown actually has a good case. It's like, like I said, he has a good case here because it's like, I was like saying, I'm like, it's like he should be able to wear this helmet. Even though I think, again, he should just wear a new helmet. The NFL, when they were putting all these safety rules into place and all that stuff last year, this rule should have been rewritten. They should have rewritten this so this issue wouldn't happen. So now, I think Antonio Brown should win the grievance. I don't know if he's going to, this second grievance, but I think he has a good argument, and I think he has a good case for a lawsuit. I do, actually. Because it's like, if it's in the rules, and then you just are like, okay, now we're going to get rid of the rules, because it was in the collective bargaining agreement rule that, you know, as long as he can get a new helmet that is under 10 years old, that he'd be fine. That was in the rules. That is in the rules. And now the NFL is like, you know, washing their way of that rule. You can't do that. You cannot do that. So, again, you know, if, you know, they deny him, I think he could sue them for this. Now, of course, again, it's 20 days before the regular season. So, again, I don't think he's going to, because it's like, there's only 20 days before the regular season, and it's like, you know, you're either going to be on the team for opening day, or you're going to be not, you know what I'm saying? You don't have that much time for a court date, you know what I'm saying? So, that's where I'm on the crossroad with this whole situation, because, like I said, I think Brown should just wear a new helmet. I think he should just wear a new helmet. I think this should be a non-issue, because I'm sure there's a helmet that's to his liking that would be just fine, that's in the safety zone. But at the same time, I don't like how the NFL is forcing upon their rules when they make a mistake and don't change their rules, you know, until another player comes up and, you know, sees, oh, well, you know, this is here, so I guess I can do this then. Because if they had gotten rid of that rule a year ago and rewritten it, then Antonio Brown wouldn't have the case that he has right now. But now Antonio Brown has a legitimate case, because it's like, you know, you didn't change the rule until after, you know, I, you know, went through all this trouble, you know, to find this new helmet. You know, according to the Raider personnel is computing today in the NFL that this was okay. Now all of a sudden, now that Brown got the helmet, you know, now it's not okay. You know, so the NFL may have shot themselves in the foot with this, because again, you know, if you're trying to transition into safety-only helmet, you really need to specify the rule changes, like you change the rules every year for the actual, you know, NFL, you know, plays. Like, you know, when you're actually playing in the NFL and you're playing football, you know, they change the rules every year. This should have been addressed. This should have been addressed. This rule should have been changed, because again, they were notifying football players for a year to transition into new helmets. Don't you think it would have made more sense to have rewritten the rule? Because now you just shot yourself into the foot with this whole thing with Antonio Brown, because now Antonio Brown is using this loophole as leverage. Because the NFL screwed up and didn't rewrite this rule. So that's where I'm thinking. I mean, they just basically screwed them. The NFL screwed themselves here, because now, like, he could sue them for that, for because it was in the rule until it was written in the rule, though. It was written in the rule. It was in the collective bargaining agreement. The union didn't change it. The NFL officials, Roger Goodell, they didn't change it. They didn't try to change it. They didn't change it until all of a sudden Antonio Brown challenged it. So again, you know, like I said, I think he should just wear a helmet, move on. You know, obviously this is causing drama to his team, and you know how that can be cancerous to a locker room. I think he should just wear a new helmet. That's my take on it. But if he challenges them into court, you know, he has every right to do it because the NFL failed to change the rule ahead of time. They, and any judge. Well, I like I said, I'm no lawyer, but I'm going to assume any lawyer, or not lawyer, any judge is going to say, well, you didn't try to change the rule until after he challenged you. Like I said, I'm no judge, I'm no lawyer, but that's what I think. Because it's like, you know, you didn't try to attempt to change the rule until after someone else challenged it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if he tries to, you know, go, I mean, his agent is saying, Steve Rosenthal is saying that, you know, we have more options even after the grievance. So, something tells me if they don't get their way, you know, from the second grievance, something tells me that the NFL could be in court. And that's something I don't think people have talked about yet, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's going to try to go about this into the court system. And again, there's only 20 days before the NFL season begins, so I don't know if there's going to be enough time, but that, you know, if it does go to court, they might have an emergency hearing to try and, you know, get it where he is allowed to still wear his helmet until the court proceedings are over. It kind of similar to what they did with Tom Brady. You know, before the court proceedings weren't, like, you know, done. You know, they got the one court where it nullified the 4-game suspension, and then about a year later, you know, they you know, decided, you know, when they went to another court, that all of a sudden, you know, the 4 games were valid, so then they suspended him for the first 4 games into the next calendar regular season instead, since they couldn't do it in the first regular season. It could be something like that, where it's like, you know, they'll allow him to wear his helmet until, you know, the court. Well, no, if the court says that the NFL has to, then the NFL will have no choice. They'll have to abide, just like with the suspension thing. Just like with the whole suspension thing with Brady. They'll have to hold it until future court hearings came up later where they, you know, reversed it. That could be a scenario that happens here. It's like where the court is like, you have to let him wear his helmet until the court proceedings are over. And then, you know, that will be that at that point. Like I said, I don't know where this is going to turn out. But I just think it, like I said, I think it's the most tedious thing ever. But if this winds up in court, I will say the NFL has no one to blame but themselves because, like I said, it was in the rules. Like you didn't try to change the rule until the guy challenged you, you know, about it. You know, so, you know, at the same time, you know, the NFL, you know, they have nobody to blame but themselves for this. Like I said, again, I don't agree with what Antonio Brown is doing. I think he should just get a new helmet. But again, like I said, with this rule that's there, you know, that's in place, you know, it's just, to me, I think Brown has a good case here. Antonio Brown has a good case here. But again, you're getting paid $30 million. Is it really worth fighting over a goddamn helmet? You know, just get a new helmet, you know, that's close to what you used to wear. I'm sure there's a helmet that feels just as comfortable as the Action Air helmet that you once had. So, that's my take on it. I'd like to know what you guys think. Comment, rate. If you like this video and my other videos, please subscribe. And that's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace!